Good morning to everyone here. It's my pleasure to usher in the IEEE Substation Conference with the topic of substation work excellence. I'll speak for 20 minutes, leave 10 minutes for any questions or discussion. Last week I visited a farm in Fleming, Colorado with my 90-year-old mom and my brother. My brother told me I could practice this discussion with the cows and they would listen intently to every word. I can verify that my brother was 100% accurate. Cows are a supremely attentive audience. My 40-year career has involved two end goals. One, I've converted energy from one form to another. Two, I've moved energy from one place to another. In hydropower plants, I lived and breathed energy conversion as water fell through the turbines, like this 36-ton turbine at Hoover Dam. The maintenance crew in this photo is flipping the turbine over using two cranes to handle the 36-ton load. Just look at the complexity in the turbine shape. Every detail specified by design to extract as much energy as possible from the flow of the water. And that energy flows through distribution substations to provide station service inside the power plant and out through transmission substations to customers outside of the power plant. Now that you're on my wavelength with the big picture of my career, I want you to shift mental gears, think about the big picture of each of your careers. Let's start with a question. How does your work on substations, the role you fulfill at work, invite participation and feedback by construction, maintenance, and operations? That's the question I want you thinking about today. My goal is to provide a model which can help you achieve substation work excellence. We'll start with the definition of a best practice. A best practice is a way of working that achieves your result efficiently, without too much waste, and improves the outcome. A best practice is achieved when you consider customer requirements, which are the inputs into your work, and the customer satisfaction level, which results from your work output. Learning how your customers and stakeholders think and designing your work to meet their requirements and build their satisfaction is what creates a best practice. All best practices are stepping stones toward excellence. Excellence involves adding a cycle of continuous improvement to a best practice. But the devil is in how do you build a cycle of continuous improvement into your work? Moving a work process toward excellence, setting it up to improve continuously, includes 3 steps. Identify the process, measure the process, and improve the process. We call these 3 steps I, M, I. You can use these 3 steps to set up a cycle of improvement to move your work toward excellence. The basic method has proven to be very easy to understand and has a good track record at SRP for producing improvement results. Any group of employees can work their way through these 3 steps toward excellence. The first step in moving any process toward excellence is to identify the end-to-end process selected for improvement. Now I'm going to ask you to help me here. I need everyone to say the word identify after I say the word identify. Ready? Identify.
Identify.
Think about work with your IEEE team as your work process. Think of that as this box shown at the center of the diagram. The key to identifying your process is learn the views of your customers and stakeholders. Some customers are defining the requirements for your work, and some customers are receiving your work product. For example, employees who work in construction have input which could be used to improve requirements for IEEE standards. Do IEEE substation processes incorporate views from those who construct substations? Active listening to anyone with a stake in your process is crucial to identifying your work process. During my 40-year career at SRP, I worked with many employees who were proficient at identifying their work process within their own tiny work area. We were good at our own areas, but challenged to expand our horizons to talk with those who define the requirements and those who receive our work output. Yet that's exactly what's needed to move toward excellence. Identifying a process means understanding where work by an individual or team fits within the larger picture, the end-to-end view. Excellence requires reaching out across organizational boundaries to incorporate the wider view of stakeholders into your process. For example, a work process involving a new solar interconnection into the electric system might appear at first to involve only resource planning and construction groups. A resource planning employee, thinking about only his own area, might outline the work process in 3 steps. Send out an RFP, select a solar constructor, and interconnect the new solar resource. But the work to plan and execute a new interconnection actually involves many more areas outside of resource planning, all necessary to make the project a success. Groups such as finance, pricing, transmission planning, transmission generation operations, and power delivery engineering are critical to successful solar project execution. Understanding the 30,000-foot overview of the process you're working on leads directly to excellence. Create that view by assembling stakeholders from other areas. The best agenda to get started is have each area describe their own role. Their own role is what they know well, and listening to others describing their roles will lead to identifying the process. As a process is first identified, frustrations will be regular input from the team. Just remember that every frustration is only one side of a two-sided coin. And the other side of the coin is what you can do with that frustration when you view the frustration as a challenge. Every problem is an opportunity. Designing systems to assess the root cause of problems and to prioritize actions to improve is critical to excellence. Once the process is identified, the second step in IMI is to measure the process. 1 or 2 measurements to help you monitor the successes and weaknesses in your process will provide continual feedback on how the process is performing. The feedback from measurements is used to control the process. It's like a thermostat that measures the temperature in a home and then controls the furnace. Measurements measure your work to guide future changes. Simple is much better than complex. 1 or 2 measurements are better than many. The third step is to improve the process. Most improvements are implemented as small changes to an existing process, as recommended by the work team. Invite input and discussion from construction, maintenance, and operations. Listen to their ideas and communicate your own. Learning to assimilate diverse views into work products is challenging. Don't try to change a process all at once, but do prepare a plan based on prioritizing small changes. After you have taken these 3 steps, you will have created a continuous cycle of measuring and improving your process. There is one more consideration for you as you move your work toward excellence, as you take the IMI steps. Investing conscious effort into long-term survival or sustainability of your process is vital to your success. Otherwise, the new process will last only as long as the careers of 1 or 2 process leaders. When they retire or get promoted or go to a new job, the process discipline is lost and the work all starts all over again. Steps you can take for process sustainability are: number 1, build the process up from where it is now. In my entire career, I've never created a new process. All I've done is work with employees doing a job and have them improve the process they're already trying to do a good job on. Number 2, assign a team of owners with planned rotations on and off the team. Number 3 is establish a charter and a communications hub such as SharePoint. How each of us goes about building a cycle of improvement into our work is essential to career success, IEEE success, and utility success. In closing, I ask all of you to think in terms of how to build excellence into your organization. The very fabric of our society is reliant on the steps we will take toward excellence in our work to convert and move energy. I challenge each of you this morning to step back, identify the big picture of your team's work process, and prioritize the first 1 or 2 small steps to improve. Thank you.